another session of Viva Magazine Live podcast. I'm your host, Blanca Blanco, and today we have with us Mr. Jorge Lebron. He is a salsa and jazz percussionist and drummer. Welcome, Jorge. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Thank you for the invitation. It's really a pleasure and an honor to be here with you.
Thank you very much. And let's just get right to it. You know, I've been told by music and especially salsa enthusiasts that you brought salsa music to the Houston area. Tell me a little bit about that. How did that happen?
Yeah, it happens when I was younger. I was actually a teenager. In 1975, it was the first time that we brought a salsa band to Houston from Puerto Rico. And eventually, we have a great time playing in this club in Houston. And then after that, we went back to Puerto Rico. Actually, it was a summer because we were still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So we went back to Puerto Rico, and then the leader decided to break the band and came back over here with half of the musicians, and then we stayed on Puerto Rico. I stood in Puerto Rico, and then he came, but then they didn't make it for some reason, so they went back. But then they called me back again on 78.
Mm-hmm.
But the official date for the first salsa band, full salsa band here, was 1975. And then in 78, I came, and then I was asked to come because 3 of the guys actually stay here. And I was asked to come to play on a band that we're putting together in Houston at that time.
Yes. Yes, and I understand that you also worked with Nelson Martinez many years ago. He was a big salsa enthusiast as well. And
Nelson Martinez was the producer of the Colores with Betty Maldonado, remember?
Yes,
and they have
remember.
A show.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a show on Channel 8, and Nelson was a fan of us, and we did a few shows on Channel 8 live, playing with the salsa band, and that's how we got promoted from there, and then we started playing festivals and clubs and all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
So that was about the time, that was the early 80s, and that was the time that, you know, us and some other bands, because there was, you know, a few other bands that were playing salsa at that time.
Yes.
But like I said, at that time, it was when everything really started on salsa in Houston.
Right. You were playing with Latin Clave in 1981, and you were playing con Raíces Latinas in 1983, and Orquesta Sarabanda in 1986, and Orquesta Cristal. Wow, that is
that was the band. That was the band on the 80s that I was part of it. Mostly I was directing the band, and those bands and the clubs, El Caballero Latin Club.
Yes, I remember that
Cristal,
club. Yes.
They were the clubs that mostly promoted the salsa music on those times.
Right.
And so we play on those clubs, and you know, Kiro Zapata was the one that promoted at the Caballero in the 80s too.
Yes, I remember. You know, I still, Kiro Zapata, I remember him playing at a club right there on Fulton Street with one of the, Gilbert Moreno was the owner of that Mexican restaurant, and Kiro Zapata used to play there. I remember that. No me acuerdo the name of the restaurant right now, but it was
the name of the restaurant?
Very popular.
On Fulton? Yeah, it was the Coco Loco.
Yeah, it was very, very, very popular, as well as the Cristal. That was a very popular salsa club that everybody used to go there. And
see, I played at the Coco Loco with Playa Suave. That was a group that was popular at that time because they played cumbia and Mexican music. So I have friends from there too, musicians. So I played there too.
Yes.
And I was part of various other groups, jazz groups, and all kinds of music. But mainly salsa was my main music, you know,
right.
at that time.
Right. When you were born in Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah. I come from the town called, born in Gurabo, Puerto Rico, and I was raised in Caguas. I actually came over here in 78 from Caguas.
Right.
And I was, like I said, when people ask me, how you came to Houston? I said, well, I came here exclusively to put together a salsa band. Wow. And they can't believe it. I say, really? Yeah, that's how I came over here to play salsa, you know.
That's awesome.
Up to this point, I still play 'em, so.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's a very, very popular genre. Everybody loves salsa because you can get out there and start dancing and have a really good time. And the music is just it just moves you, you know. Let me ask you this question. What is the biggest musical influence that has shaped your style of salsa music and jazz music?
On the 70s was when the salsa was more famous
Yes.
in the Latin America. And at that time, when I started playing, I was following the steps of the bands that most were here, like Tito Puente, Ray Barreto, Cheo Feliciano. On Puerto Rico, I was part of a band named Pedro Conga that our mission was to back up these funny all-star singers like Cheo Feliciano, Ismael
Yes.
Miranda. And so, I was a teenager already in this band
Yes.
at that time, backing up these big guys, going all over Puerto Rico. So I have a great time in Puerto Rico.
That is awesome. So describe to me what your musical style that you really like the best, that you enjoy and that you enjoy playing the most.
Yeah, salsa still, what I really like because it's what I've been playing most of my life. But Latin jazz, I like it better because see, there's a difference between salsa and Latin jazz. Salsa is for dancing.
Right.
When you said salsa, you
Yes.
expect
Oh,
a
yeah, you
band that
start
is going to make you
moving and
dance.
yes.
Latin jazz is a music for mostly viewing and for
Listen.
see the performance of the musicians. So that's what I like.
Yes.
Musicians are performers, solos, all that.
Right. When you came to Houston and you played with all of these bands, you also kind of stepped out of that and you started playing with Norma Centeno when she was alive, and now it's the Centeno Spirit. And also you played with some La Tejano groups, La Mafia, right?
Oh yeah, no. With La Mafia, I didn't play with them. I made two recordings, VIVA and La Mafia Éxitos en Vivo. It's kind of funny that Mafia Éxitos en Vivo was a concert, various concerts they made in Mexico and they put together on that record. But I wasn't on the performance and live, but they brought the recording back to Houston and they made me recording me playing conga and percussion on that record. So you see the video, but you don't see a percussion, but that was me there.
That was you.
But with Norma was really good because Norma, she was really an icon. Norma was such a tremendous person and her personality, people love her. And
yes.
see, when we put the group with Norma, it was great. It was the greatest musicians in Houston that we could have. And we have a unique sound with Norma.
Right.
She can play anything from salsa to Latin rock to romantic to, everything. So it was really important, Norma's, the Centeno bands at that time. But it was funny too, because when they separated, I ended up going with Mark Towns.
Yes.
See, Mark Towns is a Latin jazz musician. He went to California. He's got a pretty good place over there in California in terms of Latin jazz. And he still come to Houston and he still called me to play with him.
Yes, yeah.
So,
it was very, very popular. Tell me, what was your most memorable performance that you did? Give me like something that you'll never forget. What is that one? That experience, like a wow experience for you?
Yeah, well, in Puerto Rico, it's gonna be playing live in Puerto Rico with all these funny all-star singers. With Cheo Feliciano was amazing. Cheo Feliciano is one of the most famous icons of the salsa music with the funny all-star. And in Houston, I can say was Sarabanda, Orquesta Sarabanda. We had such a good band, and we were able to put this band together that we had this international hit. We have one tune that hit all over Latin America and Colombia. And the reason that I couldn't follow the band was because the owner of the band, after he hit that international level, he went to New York.
Oh, okay.
And then he moved the band to New York, so I couldn't go because I have my family here.
Yes.
But that was basically the highlight with Sarabanda.
So,
And also with Orquesta Cristal, I was able to do this recording 1989 with famous icons, musicians from Fanny Hostal, Ray Barreto, Conjunto Clásico. I mean, this group was amazing. The recording is still there. It's an amazing recording. So those are basically my two,
yeah.
more highlights on my life.
You were with all the greats that everybody knows from the salsa genre, ¿verdad? It was awesome. I can tell.
Yeah, it was good to be able to play with those people because they were not from Houston, but Sarabanda really put the salsa in the right place in Houston. We have a band that was at the same caliber of all the cities, So
yes, it was an awesome band. So let me ask you a question. Do you do workshops or do you teach your percussionist skills to students or people that want to know how to play?
Oh yeah. I just finished my last one maybe about 6 months ago, and I call it Afro-Caribbean percussion sessions.
Right.
What I do, I teach a little bit of all the Caribbean, because see, on the Caribbean we have different rhythms,
Yes.
Like the salsa is a rhythm that is based on the song.
Yes.
The song from Cuba. I also show them some other rhythms from Cuba, from Puerto Rico, from Dominican Republic, from Colombia, and you can see that they are all different rhythms that they have. People like it because they not only play and learn how to play the instruments, but they know where the music comes from and what matters.
That's right.
An email is lebronj57@outlook.com. That if anybody's interested, I do private classes too. Right now, I'm working on having a place to put together more people, but I'm also available to do private lessons right now.
Okay. Awesome. So this is going to be, if people want to get a hold of you so that they can maybe get into some of your classes, it's LebronJ57@outlook.com, correct?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, from there I read it and I can give them all the information, my schedule, where I'm gonna be.
Okay.
Now
I also know that you're going to be putting a Latin jazz festival at La Hacienda on October 20th. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's October the 20th. In the 80s and the 90s, I also had Latin jazz groups.
Yes.
So I'm gonna put this Latin jazz group that is gonna be amazing musicians from Houston. But the purpose of that is to give recognition to musicians that have played salsa and Latin jazz in Houston for the last 30 or 40 years.
Yes.
This time we're gonna do it for Mr. Kiro Zapata and Mr. Gilbert Cedeño. Two piano players that have influenced salsa music in Houston for a long years. So we're gonna try to do this every year to, kind of recognize.
Yes, because there's recognition for country, where there's recognition for Tejano, there's recognition for all genres of music except Latin salsa music.
Except for salsa and the kind of music that we play. Yeah. We're trying to put something there that somehow they get recognized, because like I said, it's been already, 40 something years.
Yes.
So it's been here, but people don't, like you said, we're doing this. I guess people don't know where it really came from. And now because of your help, people are going to know where this really came from. Because now we're going into like a third or fourth generation of salsa music. See, I've been on all of them.
Yes.
But this came from the first one right there at the beginning of the 80s.
That is so awesome. You are a legend in your own time, Jorge Lebron. If you want to,
Thank you.
If you want to see Jorge Lebron on October 20th at La Hacienda, TNT Tacos and Tamales, and it's going to be a great event for everybody to enjoy Latin jazz and some salsa music that we can all dance to and get out there and do it.
Definitely.
Jorge, thank you very much for being on our show, and I hope that everybody will give you a call. Remember, you can get a hold of Jorge Lebron at his email if you're interested in taking some percussionist lessons. Thank you, everybody. be on the lookout for Jorge Lebron, and we'll see you next time on Viva Magazine Live. This is Blanca Blanco, your host. Hasta luego.